Welcome back. Self-confidence is an elusive process, in part because of how we've always framed what confidence is. We've always sold it as an achievement. Really, what it's the difference between a human doing and a human being. A human doing who's looking for self-confidence is usually looking for it externally. They don't feel like they've achieved or arrived until they make a certain amount of money, buy a certain car, have the certain trophy spouse or career. It's always about this external achievement. Well, that's a human doing. They're focused on the external. True self-confidence is a human being. What that means is the core of who I am is sound, and I believe in it. I feel safe in it, regardless of any of the outside external doing things. Now, I chased a lot of the doing stuff. I thought pro sports would give me all of that. And like most people, found out, no, it didn't. I had to do a lot of work to discover it. And so I'm going to share with you the 7 things that I did and do to get that human being sense, the sense that no matter what's going on in my life, I'm okay. And I'm confident in who I am. And let me be clear, it goes like this. I have days where I'm like, man, I'm killing it. And other days I don't. But I always go back to these. And these allow me to stay grounded in, you know what? I'm perfectly imperfect and I'm okay. I am confident in who I am. I feel safe with who I am. And so these are the 7 that I want to share with you. The first one is, ask yourself, what's the smallest thing I can do in this moment? I know that's a doing thing. But here's why that's important. Ultimately, what gives us the most self-confidence is when we act within our morals and values, our needs and wants, our negotiables and non-negotiables. So when I take action on something that is central to my core being, you hear that? My being, who I truly am. When I don't go against myself, I feel good about myself. I can trust and believe myself. And so whether, for some, they drink too much or, they don't work, to their full level or whatever. And in those moments, we're struggling with our confidence. And that's where that question comes in. What's the smallest thing I can do in this moment to move me in the direction to gain that sense that I'm of worth? Because when we don't pursue that, the reason we don't pursue those things, we don't walk in our authentic self, is because we don't have confidence in ourselves. We don't think we can do it. And so instead of looking at the full picture and being overwhelmed by it, just break it down. What's the littlest thing I can do in this moment? For me, many times, it was literally just getting out of bed, maybe taking a shower. That at least was moving me towards the authentic self, okay? Number 2, find one thing you love about yourself. We all have something that at our core is something we really love. Like for me, at my core, what I am the most self-confident about, the most appreciative about is I love my imperfections to be shown to me. I love it. Absolutely love it. The more imperfect I am, the more I can see how imperfect I am. It gives me an opportunity to grow. It gives me a chance to be better. I can accept that I make a lot of mistakes. And the more I find them, the more excited I get because it's like, okay, I can work on this. I can get better. That's my one biggest thing that I love about myself. What is it for you? Sit and contemplate that. You're going to find it may be something with your looks. I don't know. It doesn't matter what it is, but find one thing you love about yourself so you can always pull yourself. You can always ground yourself in that one aspect. Number 3, learn to love the mirror. Now, this may sound narcissistic, but virtually nobody is comfortable just looking at themselves in the mirror and smiling, just seeing themselves. Most people can't, they shave or do their makeup, but they're not even looking at themselves. They have no memory of seeing themselves. Well, when we have true self-confidence, we can look at ourselves in the mirror and we can just be okay. And so I encourage you, again, very few people could ever look in a mirror. So start there, just look. Just learn to get comfortable seeing yourself. See, that's why we can't do it. We don't want to see. We don't want to be exposed to ourselves. See, when we're looking out our eyes, we're not aware of us. But that mirror man, it shows us our soul. And so spend time in front of a mirror, just getting comfortable with, I'm okay, just as I am. Number 3, love the mirror. Number 4, learn to say no. You know, we were all raised as kids that we couldn't say no. We had to say yes to our parents' demands. And so we become people pleasers or controllers, but we give ourselves away because ultimately we don't value ourselves. No is the most loving thing we can say to anyone at any time. Because if I do something that goes against my morals and values, needs and wants, negotiables and non-negotiables, eventually I'm going to resent you for it. I'm going to throw it in your face. But that's something I did to myself that I'm now blaming you for. So learn to say no. That roots me that I have value. My value isn't determined by whether I do this for you. Me, on my own, a human being, has value. I can say no to a request. Number 5, see insults as a gift. I know that's a tough one, but this goes back to the thing I love about myself. When people critique me, man, what an opportunity for me to grow. And I really go into depth in this in my video of how to turn any insult into a blessing. It's the single most important video I've ever done. It'll completely change your life. If there's one video of mine you ever watch, it should be that one. Because when you learn the skill of being able to see that an insult is actually the doorway into you accepting yourself fully and really building intimacy and connection with another person, your life changes forever. So number 5, see an insult as a gift. Number 6, this is what saved my life and allowed me to be okay with myself. Become an expert in your imperfections and your unhealed pain, and we all have it. All of us have imperfections. All of us have pain from our childhood and our past. The avoidance of pain creates pain. And for centuries, we've taught, look, don't look at that stuff, don't admit it, don't deal with it, cover over it with false positivity. That's not self-confidence. Self-confidence ultimately comes from the ability to look at our imperfections, the ability to face our pain and accept all of us, every aspect. That's why my whole life story is all across the internet, all my perfect imperfections and what a train wreck I am. Like I'm a train wreck. There's Mike, my counselor, we did a podcast and he was complimenting me on, he said something like, you're a good man or something like that. And he goes, but you're an expert at dysfunction. And I'm like, yes, that was my greatest expertise. Well, do you see the joy in my face? I made peace with it. That's self-confidence, to make peace with your imperfections and your pain. When you have that, you have freedom. Then you can be a human being because you've accepted all of yourself. And that leads to number 7. Forgive yourself. My gosh, the navigation of life is overwhelming, and we're just not taught these skills and tools. At every moment of our life, we're always doing the best we can with where we are in the moment. As we know better, we can do better. And see, this is the thing. We all have this experience where we know the right thing to do, but we can't get ourselves to do it, and so we don't forgive ourselves. But do you see what that means? That just means we were on the journey. We're in the process. We know what to do, but we haven't turned the knowledge into a skill and a tool that we can use. So we're just in the journey of having the knowledge, and eventually we'll take action on it. It was the best we could do in that moment, and that's why we forgive ourselves, because it opens the door to accepting the imperfection, which will allow us in the future to put that in, convert it into a skill and make it a tool that we can take action on. So those are the 7 tips I have for self-confidence that I use for myself and pass on to my clients. I've seen them be very effective, and so I hope they help you. If you think this will help you or other people you care about, please like it. Leave your comments. What do you do for your self-confidence? What's important to you? And by all means, please share it with somebody that matters to you that's struggling with self-confidence. And as I always say, just enjoy the journey. That's all we're ever doing, is working our way through the journey. Enjoy it.